Hi, I'm Vincent, and in this video, I'm going to show you step by step how you can see and export the LinkedIn connections of someone, for example, your competitors. So I'm going to show you how to see the connections of someone on LinkedIn for free. Then I will show you how to see the connections of someone, but this time on LinkedIn Sales Navigator. And with that, you will see that you can better identify decision makers. And finally, how to export the connections of someone into a CSV file with all the information you need, like the first name, last name, company name, the LinkedIn URL, and the verified emails of the leads. So you see, we have a lot to cover, so let's start. All right, so the first thing I want to show you is how to see the connections of someone on LinkedIn for free. And if you want to see the connections of someone, you need to be connected on LinkedIn with this person. So here, as you can see, I'm on LinkedIn, and here you see that I'm connected with Romain. So here it's first degree connection on LinkedIn. And now if I want to see the connections of Romain, very easy. I click here on 500 plus connections. And here I have the list of all the people in the network of Romain. So if I scroll, you see the results. So we have Chief Operating Officer, we have Development Engineer, Webmaster, and so on. And now if you want to identify decision makers in the network of someone, you just need to click here on All Filters. And here you can apply some filters. For example, locations, current companies, followers of, past companies, schools, industries, profile languages, service categories. And here you have keywords. And the one that is very useful is title. So for example, here you can say that you want to target people, for example, who are, let's say, engineer, like this. Then we click on show results. And now here you see that I have people who are engineer in the network of Romain. Now, as I told you, if you want to have access to the network of someone, you need to be connected on LinkedIn with him. And here, for example, Martin is in my second degree connections on LinkedIn. And here you see 500 plus connections, but I can't click in it, so I can't have the connections of Martin. And same for the third degree connections on LinkedIn. Here I don't have access to the network of this person. So if you have just one thing to remember for this feature, so how to see the connections of someone, you need to be connected to someone to see his network. So in this case, if I want to check his network, I need to send a connection request. And so for that, I click on More and then Connect. And here I can send my connection request without a knot. And then I need to wait a little bit until my connection request is accepted or not. All right, so now that you know how to see the connections of someone for free on LinkedIn, I want to show you how you can do that on LinkedIn Sales Navigator. And you will see that it will help us to better identify decision makers. So for that, let's go back on my computer. And this time you see that I'm on LinkedIn Sales Navigator. And if you want to see the connections of someone, you need to go here and use the filter connections off. And here you can type someone. So for example, Romain Sylvestre. And here on the right, you will see all the people in the network of Romain. So if I scroll, we see all the people in the network of Romain. And here, very interesting, you have the number of people in his network. So here we have a bit more than 600 people. And now what's very interesting is that you can identify decision makers in the network of someone, for example, your competitors. And so for that, you can add some filters. And the filter I recommend to use is this one, so current job title. And here you can say, okay, I want to target people who are CEO, founder, and let's say head of sales. So just for example, and here you have the people who are founder, associate, CEO, and so on. And this is exactly how you can identify decision makers in the network of someone. Now, one last filter you can use is this one, company headcount. And here, for example, if you target small companies, here you can say that you only want to have the people here working in a company with a headcount between 11 to 50 people. And here you see that this time we have 41 results. And now that you've identified some interesting decision makers in the network of someone, I guess that you want to have this list of people in a CSV file. So if you want to do that, unfortunately, you can't do that natively on LinkedIn Sales Navigator. And that's why you need to use a third-party tool like GiveMeLeads to have a button like this one, Extract Leads. So if you want to export your leads from LinkedIn Sales Navigator, you can go on givemeleads.io, or you just need to click the first link in the description. Then you click here on Start for free. You create your free account, and if you want, you can sign up with Google. Then the next step is to install the Chrome extension. So you click on Add to Chrome and then Add Extension. And once you've installed the Chrome extension, you will see this button, Extract Leads from GiveMeLeads. So once you are happy with your search and you want to export these people, all you need to do is to click here on Extract Leads. Then you will be redirected to your GiveMeLeads account. Here you can give the number of people you want to export, so 41. Then just below here, you can say that yes, you want the emails of these leads. And finally, all you need to do is to click on Export Leads. And now I just need to wait a few minutes and I will get my export. But just before, I want to rename my export. So Romain's network, like this. And now I just need to wait a little bit. All right, so as you can see, after 1 minute, my export is done. And now if I want to see the leads, I just need to click here on Download CSV. So here is my list of leads. And if I scroll, you see that I have 41 leads, which is perfect. Now on top, you have all the information you need to reach out to these people. So you have the first name, last name, LinkedIn URL, so always useful if you want to reach out to the leads on LinkedIn. You have the emails of the leads. So if you want to send cold emails, it's perfect. Then you have the job title, location, and actually you have much more information. So for example, you have the company name, company website, so always useful if you want to personalize your cold emails or LinkedIn messages with AI, company location, company industry, and so on. When you export your leads with GiveMeLeads, we do two things. So first, we make sure that the data is clean. So for the first name, last name, and company name, you don't have any problems with capital letters or with a rocket emoji in the first name. For example, if you want to say hi first name in your cold email or your LinkedIn messages, you don't want to have hi Vincent with a rocket emoji at the end, but instead you want to clean data like this, hi Vincent. So basically with this feature, you don't need to waste your time to manually clean the data because we do it for you. And now the second thing we do is to make sure that every single lead perfectly matches all your filters. So that's why on the left, you see here that we have two columns. So matches filters and invalid reason. So here in matches filters, when it's true, it means that your lead perfectly matches your filters. But if I scroll, you see that some of them have false. And here you have the reason. So wrong company size. And if we check an example, here we have two wrong job title. And if we check the job titles, we have marketing director and sales. And for this search, I want to have founder, CEO, or head of sales. So here we have people who don't match my filters. So at the end, what you can do is to decide to keep some leads if they are still relevant, or if you want, you can just remove all of them like this. And by doing that, you make sure that you only have people who perfectly matches all your filters. So this is exactly the process you can follow to see and export the connections of someone on LinkedIn. Now, if you want to easily export these people from LinkedIn Sales Navigator into a CSV file like this one, you can try for free GiveMeLeads. And so for that, you just need to click the first link in the description. And now, if you want to start sending cold emails, but you don't know exactly what to do, I've made a complete beginner-friendly tutorial on how to use Instantly.ai to send cold emails. So if you want to see this video, you can click somewhere on the screen. It was Vincent. I wish you a nice day and I see you in the next video. Bye bye.